Welcome back, my fellow game developers. In this video, when you can see right here that we have these green health pickups, so when we get hit, you'll notice that our life is 500 over 600, but once I pick up these health, you'll notice that I increase my health, and now we're back in business and we can shoot everybody up. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time. I do make a couple of mistakes in this video. I hope you'll enjoy the lesson from them, and let's not waste any more time again, and let's get started. Okay, so let's add the ability for the player to pick up some health while he is damaged. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create the prefab out of the spike trap. So prefab, and what should we have in here? Let's right click in here and create a folder for the level object. So level objects. And let's go ahead and add the spike trap in here, and let's just keep it in our world. Now, the next thing we want to do is to go into the sprites. Where are the sprites? And let's say that in here we have the health pickup, or you know what, let's just call them the pickups. Hit enter, and in here I'm going to go into the resources and drag the entire PNG or image or whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to do this outside and do it before we started the video, but I thought that maybe some of you might have been angry that I created all the animations and stuff. So I thought that let's create them together. If you want, we can go ahead and see who can do it faster. So 64 by 64, let's slice that. Okay, obviously it should be 32 by 32, slice that, apply the changes. There we go. Now I'm going to get one of those, add them to the world in here. It's extremely small. Let's set it on the player layer. It's still extremely small. Let's make it 32 in the pixels per unit. Apply the changes, so it's still a bit small. Let's make it maybe 16. Apply the changes. There we go. I think this is good. And by the way, this is one of the ugliest health pickups that I've ever seen. So if you want, no, I didn't want to say that because maybe the person that worked on them maybe had a tough time creating the shadows and so on. So I'm sorry for saying that, but honestly, they're not that good. So I do recommend that you go find your own sprites. All I want to do is make sure that we have the game mechanics in place. It doesn't have to be extremely pretty. Anyways, we add a box collider, obviously. Let's see how big that is. Yep, I think that is big enough. We'll make sure it's a trigger. We'll save that. We'll go into the scripts in here, and let's right click and create a C# script for the health pickup. Hit enter, and we'll create a folder which will be the pickups. So any day now, pickups, and add the health pickup into the pickups, and then we'll add the health pickup into the health pickup. How cool is that? So health pickup gets a new component, which is the health pickup script. There we go. Open it up in Visual Studio and let's get started. So what do we need in here? First of all, obviously we need to know the amount that this will heal. So serialized field, we'll make it an integer and we'll call this the heal amount, and let's just set it to be, I don't know, like maybe 10. I think 10 is a good enough number. I'm going to remove the start and update for now, and I'm going to go ahead and create an on trigger enter 2D. Obviously, what are we looking for? Compare tag. We need to first of all get the collision, and then we compare the tag, and that tag is the player. So you've already seen all of this, I think about 1,000 times, but anyways, this is what we should be going through. But before I do that, let me just create the animation for the health pickup. So animation, create animation. Let's create a folder in here, which is going to be the pickups. Maybe we do add a bit of more pickups, and in here we'll create the health pickup, just to make sure that everything is really clean and easy to go through. So now we get the health up down, health up down. Save that, go to the sprites, which is on the end is it? Pickup, health pickup. And there we go. Let's add all of these images and we'll keep it as the default layer. Let's run. Okay, that's extremely fast. Maybe like that. Nope, that is boring. Like that. Okay, I think that is good enough, maybe? Yeah, sure, why not? So let's just keep it at that. I think, yeah, sure. As long as we can see what's happening and it's just moving a little bit. Maybe make it a bit slower. Nope, that's too fast. I don't know. This will really depend on you. How do you want your pickup to look? Obviously, some of you have better sprites, have better understanding of what makes an animation pretty, so I'll keep that to you as long as we have the health pickup working properly. Now let's go back in here, and what do we want to do in here after the player collides? Well, obviously we want to increase the health of the player, but there is something that is not quite right, and that is we don't have any way of doing that. So I'm going to issue you a challenge to create a method that adds health. So first of all, in the player health handler, create a method that adds health to the player. It should take a parameter, which is the heal amount. You'll need to make sure that it never goes over the maximum of health that we have. So if our maximum is 100, we don't want to have 120, for example. And finally, and most importantly, you'll need to make sure to also update the UI canvas. So with that information, pause the video right now and go do the challenge. Okay, welcome back. How did you get on with that? I hope it wasn't too hard and I hope you gave it your all. So in here where we damage the player, right under we are going to create a public void and it's going to be add HP to player, and it's going to take in an integer parameter, which is the heal amount. And what shall we be doing in here? Well, we are going to be accessing the current health and we are going to be increasing it by the health amount. Now for the tricky part, if we have the current health greater than the max health, what should we be doing? Well, we should be setting the current health to be equal to the max health. So this will ensure that the current health never goes over the max health. And finally, we need to update player health. Update player health. Update player health. You know what? Double click in here. Control RR. Update player health UI. And the problem is that there is one unresolved conflict. What is the problem? Oh, okay. So in here, it doesn't know what it should be using, and there we go. So now we update the player health UI. And the last step is obviously to, in here, we are going to go to the collision get component, because we already know this is the player, so we won't face any errors. What was it called? Add HP to player, add HP to player, and we shall send him the heal amount of this object. And finally, and of course, we need to destroy the game object. There we go. I believe this is all that we need to do, and this should be working. So back in our game, let's run this and let's see if that worked. So we are going to stand on the spikes, get hit once, come on, get hit twice, there we go, get hit a third time. Okay, so now our health is 300, so now when we pick up this, we should have 310. We have 320. So why do you think that happened? Let's see what the problem is here. So the health pickup has 10, it has an animation, it has a box collider, but the problem... Okay, welcome back. So I believe it took me just a fraction of a second to know what happened because of the magic of editing, but I went through a couple of things just to understand if my theory was correct, and it was. So what I was thinking is that we have two colliders in here. We have the capsule collider of the player and we have the box collider of the player. One of them is to make sure that we do not go beyond walls. So we made one that is small so we can have the illusion that this game is more than just a 2D, so the wall doesn't actually make us unable to walk through it. a little bit. So if you know what I mean in here. And then the second one is actually to be able to get shot from on the head. So the problem, what's happening, I'm trying to show you, I'm going to get hit by these spikes. And now if I walk with these two colliders, you'll notice that when I choose one of them, you see that I get 20 because I'm picking it up with both colliders. If I just pick it up with the collider above, look at the 520, you'll see that it's just 530. If I pick it up with my head only, I get 540, so 10, which is good. And if I pick it up from the side, there you go, you can see that it added 20. So this is the problem that we need to fix. Now, I want you to take a moment and think of a solution to this problem. So I'm just going to give you, this is not a challenge, not an efficient challenge. I'm just going to give you a bit of time. Okay, time's up. So let's see what we're going to do in here. So the whole thing that we need to make sure of is that this health pickup has been picked up at least once. So what we'll do is we'll create a private bool, and this is going to be called picked up. So it has been picked up. And in here we're going to say that if it's the player and it has not been picked up, so we add the exclamation mark, then we are going to pick up, but we'll also set this pickup to be true. So once we pick it up once, that's it, we can no longer pick it up another time. So let's save that, let's go back into our game and let's test this out. So we run the game, we get hit by the spikes, and then when we walk on the sides, there we go, we get 10. So no matter how much we try right now, we should never get this increasing by 20. So now I walk through this, there you go, on the sides, we always get 10 and never get an extra 20 of health. So I hope you enjoyed, I hope you'd like this, and I really wasn't sure what the problem was. So it took me maybe about 2 to 3 minutes, but I remember when I first started, this took me maybe like 2 days to figure out what the hell was wrong with this game. So why wasn't the game picked up? This was a long time ago. Now, because of my experience, I understand things a bit quicker. And this is what I want you to know, that sometimes, even though I know I've have so much experience, I am teaching you this course, I also make a lot of mistakes and things happen that I have no clue why. Even though this course, actually I've created this game beforehand and went through everything, but I encountered this problem. So I hope you enjoyed, I hope you like my transparency, that I always make sure to show you the mistakes I make, even though some people don't like it. They say that how can an instructor make mistakes? Oh no, everybody tries to be perfect. I know nobody is, trust me. Everybody uses Google to figure out what the problem was. In this case, I didn't, because I've already encountered it and fixed it beforehand. So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to stage your files, and I'll see you in the next video.